Suckling on the teat of tech with Paul Brislen and Wammo on Kiwi.
Let's talk high tech. From audient.wordpress.com, it is Paul Brislen this morning. Morning, Paul.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well. Were you up early enough this morning to see the lights in the sky?
No, I missed the whole thing.
Ah.
I'm gutted.
I'm not
Absolutely gutted.
I'm not sure if it was. It's definitely been cited from Wellington, but in many other places as well. But I'm not sure if it was as far north as Auckland.
Well, Twitter, you've let me down. I see no sign of it anywhere.
Nothing
Nobody's
in there.
mentioned it. No, shocking.
Because it's been quite eventful in Wellington because they've had an earthquake.
Well, they had the earthquake as well. Clearly, it's the end of days.
Yeah.
These are all the signs. First, Reader's Digest goes into liquidation, and now this. I mean, what are we going to do next? Oh my God!
Talking about end of days, and I was quite looking forward to this blockbuster 2012 coming up, but I just saw the trailer last night. And
with the aircraft carrier being swept by the wave into the Capitol building in New York, in Washington, or whatever the hell it is.
As soon as it said, from the director of Independence Day and the day after tomorrow, I was like, oh, no.
And you went, I know how this is going to play out. But go on, it's a spectacle, isn't it? It looks the business. Yes, massive death and mayhem.
So does District 9. Have you seen it yet?
No! I went along to see it, and I got my times wrong, and I ended up watching Inglourious Bastards instead, which was jolly messy.
Jolly messy. I saw that last night. I quite enjoyed it. It was just a big old Tarantino film, you know?
It is. If you like Pulp Fiction and Nazis, then you'll probably have a whale of a good time.
Yeah.
I'm always stunned by how well he writes dialogue, though, I have to say. A lot of it is two guys sitting at a table, smoking pipes and drinking milk.
And creating a tension.
And creating the most unbelievable tension I think I've seen in a movie in a long time. Yeah. It was utterly terrifying.
Hey, we better dig into some technology because we're probably going off track here. Very, very quickly, with your Vodafone harness on. Some goings on at Telecom this week.
That's right. So Unbundling is where we get to go into Telecom's exchanges and put our equipment in the exchanges. We can then offer service directly to customers using our own equipment, which is good for everybody, except for Telecom. And Telecom discovered that a lot of people were signing up with the likes of Vodafone and Orcon, who have done this. So they introduced a wholesale offer that basically undercut the whole thing, a wholesale offer into the market, which its own independent oversight group has now decreed to be anti-competitive and must be removed at once. So it's a bit of a blow for Telecom. It's a good thing for competition because it means that now nobody gets penalised for doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. This was a loyalty discount that meant that if you wanted to get the discount, you had to give all your business to Telecom. So that was spelt the end of unbundling, really. There was going to be no opportunity for companies like Vodafone or Orcon to go and do that. So we're quite pleased. We're still digesting the detail of it, but it looks on the surface to be a good move.
Okay, release the harness.
It was chafing.
Tell us about planets that shouldn't exist.
Planets that shouldn't exist. How cool is it? I love it when scientists don't know what's going on. It bodes well for me. But we have an interesting situation where scientists, I should say, have discovered a planet 330 light years away, orbiting a giant star called WASP-18. The planet is about the size of Jupiter. It's a gas giant, and it's very, very close to the star. It goes round the star so fast, it goes round in less than 1 day. That's basically the equivalent of having a whole year in less than a day, which is how fast it's moving, how close it is. But the problem is it shouldn't be there at all. It's just too big. It's bigger than anything we've seen that close to a star, and it basically says we've got all our facts wrong, which I quite like. I'm a big fan of that. Do you have a favourite galaxy?
This one. The one I'm living in. Yeah.
This one you quite like. Well, I quite like this one too, but my absolute favourite galaxy is goes by the prosaic name NGC 4622.
Right.
And the reason it's my favourite galaxy is because you know how galaxies have the arms, all the stars swirl around like milk in your coffee.
Yeah.
They all are supposed to spin behind the rotation of the central core. Well, this galaxy spins backwards.
Okay.
All the stars are arrayed in a tight spiral, but they're leading, not following, and that makes no sense at all. How on earth can that happen? Well, clearly it doesn't. So we don't have the faintest idea what's going on out there.
So the rules are gone.
All the rules are out the window. Yep. We've got no idea.
Doesn't that freak you out?
It does, but in a good way, because it says to me that all these people that say, "Oh no, it can't be done." No, science has discovered everything. You know, it's all carefully laid out. The speed of light can never be broken, and we can't travel through time, and all of that is completely up for grabs.
Okay.
Really? I like it. You know, the Victorians used to think they'd discovered everything because they had gas and electricity. I mean, you know, we are just at the beginning here. We certainly don't know everything, and this just reinforces that.
Okay. I prefer systems to galaxies. The Dagobah system. That's
the Dagobah system. Yeah. Well, you know, yes, a more loathsome, a wretched hive of scum and villainy. No, that's the other one.
I think
that's my science nerdy hat on. That's it's my favourite kind of science, really. Science that says, actually, we might have it all wrong.
Okay, well, back down on planet Earth on the nets. Okay. On the nets, in the UK, internet service providers have reacted with anger to new proposals.
They have. What are they? The new proposals are, hey, if you repeatedly breach copyright terms and conditions, we might cut you off from the internet.
That sounds like something
else. Doesn't
that
sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so the ISPs in the UK are unsurprisingly a little bit anxious about this because they will be required to terminate the connections of customers.
Yep.
Once again, it's much as it was here in New Zealand with Section 92 when that initially broke. There's a lack of clarity around, well, do I terminate their account and then immediately offer them a special deal to get them back on as a new customer? Is this a permanent, lifelong ban from the internet? Bearing in mind that we don't even do that for people who peddle child pornography, you know, or you know, commit cyber crimes, hacking, or steal your credit card numbers. They will be fined. They might well be imprisoned, but we don't cut them off from the internet.
No, indeed.
So it seems to be all a little bit out of whack. The good news is that the UK politicians seem to be far more aware about these issues than our lot, and are taking up arms and getting quite stuck into it. Okay. So, it's still a bill at this stage. It's being pushed by the government, but I think they're likely to have to make some radical changes before they get any further. Because let's face it, it's not as clear-cut as if you download a lot of stuff, you are therefore stealing something. It's simply not that simple anymore.
No. Finally, Paul, Microsoft have been in a bit of a spot of bother this week for photoshopping a black man out of a boardroom.
They have. They've got a lovely photo for one of their ads. And in Poland, for some reason, they have decided that, oh, no, he's African-American. We shall cull him out of the picture and we shall replace him with a pasty-face-looking, very American, lots of teeth-looking white guy.
Yeah.
Which, as you can imagine, has not gone down terribly well.
So it got out on the nets, the original photo. And
the original's there, and then somebody's carefully compared and contrasted and gone, hang on, the hands are the same. Apparently a black man's hands are okay, but his face has been removed. Now, this is more to do with Poland than with Microsoft. This isn't the first time Polish subsidiaries of a company have done this. There was I think it was a car firm with a giant worldwide advertising campaign about 10 years ago, and the ad campaign was lifted wholesale from the US market, dropped into the Polish market, but they took out all of the African-American people.
Did they?
And the reason is that in Poland, the population is 99.8% white folk with a smattering of slightly suntanned folk. So they have very little in the way of ethnic diversity in Poland, and apparently a lot of the companies there, they get more negative comments when they have people of colour in their ads than they do when they don't have them in their ads. It distracts from the ad, is what I'm trying to say.
Who knew? Poland,
so they cull them out. I mean, who knew? Exactly. Probably because nobody wants to live in Poland, and so lots of people leave Poland. Yeah. Very few people go there. So that's my take on the matter. But from the isolated islands of far away.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who's ever been to Poland?
No. I think Hitler went there once.
Yes, yeah, he was in a hurry, though. He was going other places, too.
Yeah.
No, I do know somebody who's been to Poland, actually, and went through at a great rate of knots and went out the far side because it was all a bit too scary.
Got a text from someone who said it was an awful bit of photoshopping, too.
It was very clumsy. And, you would hope Microsoft would actually have somebody who knows how to Photoshop, but apparently not.
Yeah.
This is apparently is not uncommon in the Polish marketing world. They just take the ad campaigns straight from the US and take out all the ethnic diversity.
Well, there you go.
A very cheap approach.
Well, we're going to go out on a track, because then we've been talking about stars and things, from Rian Sheehan, who has had this track here, has been as part of a trailer for a documentary about the year of astronomy, featuring David Tennant, who has been narrating it. And apparently you can see this documentary at all kinds of events all around the country coming up soon. So
brilliant.
Look forward to that. Thanks very much, Paul.
Thank you.